Hi, this is Ed, and I'm here in San Diego. As you can see, it's a nice little scene. This is a park adjacent to the condo where we live in downtown San Diego. And James Moss is shuffling between London and New York and here today in Manhattan. Welcome, James.
Hi Ed, great to be back and end of year and final catch up.
Yes, and Merry Christmas to you. And this is interesting time. Currently, I'm in Phoenix. We were in Palm Desert, and today and this week in Phoenix, and then back to San Diego for the weekend. So, a lot going on here. And
Uh,
so, James, the property market, interest rates are falling. And what do you think? People are going to jump?
I think I think the interest rates are definitely going to help coming down. They just came down this morning in London again, the UK, which was great. And they came down, I think, last week in the States, quarter of a point, which
So,
is
are they
great.
under 5% now?
Yeah, they're I think I have to check actually. I was just looking at the paper this morning. I think 3.75 in the UK and a
Sounds
lower
good.
than that. I can't remember the US one off the top of my head. I think it's like three or three and a quarter to three and a half, something like that. But the trend this year has been great. Will it continue to next year? I'm not sure. I think there's a lot of pressure on the Bank of England, and certainly here in the States. I think it's very likely going to see a change at the head of the Fed, and I suspect that may put more emphasis on rates coming down. But the Fed is a complicated organization. It's not like one person calling the shots. It's more of a committee job, um, as is the Bank of England these days. But yeah, I think generally speaking, it will help, but it's not going to be a magic wand. You've got property shortages in both London and New York, in terms of rentals. Certainly will help the buying markets a little bit. But then again, you've got stock shortages. People aren't too inclined to move necessarily. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, on the whole, it's a positive. I think can only contribute.
Well, this is great. So let's go to your first slide and get right to some comparative information.
Yeah, sure. Let me pull them up. We'll just have a quick look. And I thought we'd have just a last minute look, if you like, at what's happening in London and New York at the moment before we get through the holiday periods and into next year. So a little bit of a recap. So I've got a dog in the background who's just decided to, I'm going to ignore it. Um, so So in London, sorry, excuse me, Ed, I got to deal with this. Um, I did, and I'm going to have to stop this. I got these effing dogs here. Okay, I'll be back in a second. All right.
Okay, so we're going to compare notes. We're going to have a discussion, a brief discussion about current happenings right now, just about. Interest rates are falling. There's a property shortage, which means prices stay high. And James
Yeah,
Moss
a bit
is
of
going
bit of a
to,
moment there.
yeah,
But
a dog pet moment, eh? Well,
I tell you, yeah.
that's what
Yeah,
happens.
can we start again very quickly, or what do you want to do?
Yes, okay. I'll give it a three count. Ready? Here we go. Three, two, one. I'm in San Diego. This is Ed. And James Moss is today in Manhattan, and we're going to talk about property in London and Manhattan. Interest rates are falling. James, welcome to the show.
Hi, Ed. Great to be back. And yeah, our final show this year. So I thought we'd have a quick look back, see where we are now, and get the crystal ball out and have a look ahead and see what we can see.
All right, we have around 12 to 15 minutes remaining available today. So let's get to the first slide.
Okay. Well, the first slide is really London and just having a look at what the situation is in London at the moment.
10 Downing Street.
Yeah, well, not your sort of average house. But I thought, well, if well, why not? Let's have a bit of fun at the end of the year. So, prime real estate, I think it probably would fall into that category. Um, so yeah, so it's sort of the festive time of year. So basically, well, what has happened is that London rents have really gone up a lot this year. They went up by almost 2%. Annual rental growth, but I can tell you they've actually gone up a lot more than that in quite a lot of the neighborhoods in 2025. And the reason is that there are severe stock shortages. There is a lot of demand for rental property. Properties are not being built very quickly in London. With interest rates, as you mentioned earlier on, coming down, uh, people might start considering moving again. And that might bring some more stock possibly into the rental market, but I don't think it's particularly likely. There's a lot of pressure, a lot of tax relief has gone for landlords. A lot of landlords have actually sold and got out of the market this year, and will continue to do so. So it's not a particularly rosy picture in London at the moment. Um, but I've got some rental numbers which are quite good to see. So sort of one bed apartments, and I've really put this into US parlance as well as sort of British. But in US dollars, you can see you're looking at 3 to 5 thousand a month is quite normal now for a decent quality one bedroom in prime central London. So we're talking about really the good areas of London. And you can pay, significantly more for that. So it's £2,500 a month or more. Um, Two bedders, you're looking at about 4,500 starting, sort of going up that way. And super prime, you can go into like crazy sort of telephone number type of pictures. Um, so the situation in London for rental property, finding rental property is really tough. Um, it's um, it's going to change in May of next year, where you have the Renters Rights Act has now come into force, and that's going to change the playing field entirely. I won't go into the details now, but we're already actively advising clients on how to start reading those tea leaves and how to prepare ahead. So the market is not going to get any easier. We find this with relocation clients. We even have to be faster and more efficient at finding properties for those guys. Luckily, we are. We're very technology driven. And sales prices are on the decline. Again, interest rates may start leveling that playing field off a little bit more, the coming down of interest rates. But that really is the situation in London at the moment. Um, so maybe let's go and have a look at New York, unless there's anything in
No, let's go
particular.
forward. That's beautiful pictures there. A nice living room, or a waiting room, I guess. But and then that looks like a shopping street. Nice photo. Okay, let's go to Manhattan.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so let's have a look at Manhattan. Let's see where we are. we go. It's coming up. So, Manhattan, New York, very Christmassy here. I'm delighted to say it's also been very cold, actually. Today's a pretty mild day, but it's been absolutely freezing the past few days. Um, so, quick look at Manhattan. Apartment rents have reached a new high, 2025. Again, there is scarcity in the market. Demand is outstripping supply. Um, quite a lot of New York landlords pulled out of the market, have been putting out for the last year or two now, because of the loss of tax breaks again. And they can't make the investments wash their face, as we like to say. So there's less stock. Um, the average rental for a Manhattan two-bedroom apartment is about 7,140 a month now, which is really pretty high. We've done quite a lot of work with one bedders at around sort of the 4,000 mark this year. But it is tight supply and there is very high demand. The median rent, yeah, median rents and average rents. I prefer averages to mediums. Um, but the medium rent is about 4,750, which sort of reflects that last comment I made about, quite a lot of work being done around the 4,000 mark at the moment. Um, the luxury units, again, it's the same as London. The rents are a lot higher. Um, it's really the availability of stock. There's actually more stock around in New York than you might think because you have a lot of luxury condo buildings around, but some of which haven't sold, and therefore are being rented. You also get a lot of buildings in New York which are deliberately built for the rental market. So it's a slightly different picture over here. The medium rent in New York is about 4,750, as I referred to earlier on. The sales market broadly flat, and if anything, is slightly down. In fact, in some areas, it's been down quite a bit. And again, I think the interest rate situation will certainly help that. Manhattanites tend to be a bit more mobile than their equivalent in London. But people have been living in a place for a long time and they're happy with it. They tend to stay. Where you do see things coming to mind is people downsizing, moving out of the city for tax reasons. You have New York City income tax here as well as federal taxes. Thus the sort of the fleeing to Florida, which we're seeing a lot of companies and individuals. Um, but that really is sort of the situation. Will it get better next year? Um, I don't know. We'll just have to see what happens. There's a new mayor coming in January. Mondani, he has a very aggressive affordable housing agenda. And if he's able to get some of that through, I think that will certainly make a difference. So I think that's where we are in Manhattan forward slash better parts of Brooklyn at the moment.
Wishing you guys well. Thank you very much for Curzon comments at year end 25. Looking forward to seeing you in a few weeks in the new year.
Happy New Year, Happy Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and look after yourself, Ed, and catch you in January.
Take care. Bye bye. Thank you for this.
Cheers.